that echo.
We
Hey,
love
everyone.
it. We definitely do when you sing.
Yeah. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you. I know it's one day closer to your favorite day.
Yes, I have less than 24 hours before my favorite day starts.
Yeah.
And it's even more favorite because my daughter is coming home. So
Woohoo!
it's the bonus package.
I bet that will give you the bonus package. That's very cool.
Yes. How are you, Queenie?
I am fantastic. The weather in Kansas City is so glorious. It's just like, this is what we live all year for. I'm telling you what.
Yes, we do. It looks like you got a little sun there.
I know. Yeah. Being outside is just one of my favorite things in the whole world. So I love that. So I'm going to find a way to get my green screen out on my patio and see if I can make the street noise go away. So I got some issues I need to work on.
I bet you can figure it out. We'll have to test it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing Bible trivia from my patio and from your patio. Now that would be super fun. Dueling patios. That would be super awesome. All right. I wanted to welcome everybody to Doc and Queenie Bible Trivia. And we are super excited that you're with us tonight. We literally do a deep dive into the word, and we are so excited. So if you'd like to participate in the answers, just type it in StreamYard. Sometimes there's a delay, but sometimes we get to see it. So don't hesitate to participate when we start our questions. What book are we doing tonight, Doc?
We're doing the book of Matthew.
All righty then. The book of Matthew.
Chapter 7. Let's start there.
All right. Chapter 7. All right. Are you ready for the actual quiz?
Sure.
Primed and ready? Okay.
As ready as I will ever be.
Yeah. Jesus asked, "Why look at the mote in your brother's eye and not be concerned about the mote in your own, the beam in your own, removing it, or his other eye?" Jesus asked, "Why look at the mote in your brother's eye and not be concerned about the mote in your own, the beam in your own, removing it, or the other eye?" And again, we thank you for joining us tonight on Doc and Queenie Bible Trivia, whether it is live or on the replay. And if you are live and you'd like to participate, just type in your answer, and hopefully we will be able to see where you are. Matthew 7 is where we're starting. What do you think, Doc?
Well, I'm trying to find the version that this is, and I keep getting plank and log.
Okay, so it's not New King James this time?
This time, that was English Standard. New King James says plank.
Okay.
NIV, I do believe, says plank also.
Okay.
Yep. So I can't get past the planks, but of course I need the choices again.
Okay. Jesus asked, "Why look at the mote in your brother's eye and not be concerned about the mote in your own, the beam in your own, removing it, or his other eye?" This is Matthew 7:3.
Matthew 7:3. Okay. Sorry, hang on. Why do you look at the speck and sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to plank in your own eye?
Yeah, plank and mote and sawdust. We got a lot of words that are similar, apparently. Cast not your pearls before them. Hypocrites, dogs, swine, thieves.
So wine, swine. It's got to be the swine.
Cast not your pearls before them. Hypocrites, dogs, swine, or thieves.
So that would be Matthew 7:6. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs.
Yeah, that's pretty drastic there, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Jesus asked, "What man, if his own son asked for bread, would give him bread, a stone, fish, or a serpent? Jesus asked, what man, if his own son asked for bread, would give him bread, a stone, fish, or a serpent? 7, 9.
That would be 7-9. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone?
Not a good plan. Whatsoever thing you would that a man would do unto you, whatsoever thing you would that a man would do unto you, ask for them, pray to God for them, do ye even so to them, or ye shall have them. There's a lot of ye's going on tonight in New King James. Whatsoever thing you would that a man would do unto you, ask for them, pray to God for them, do ye even so to them, or ye shall have them.
I'm looking for the ye's and those, but I can't find them.
Yeah, that is the deal.
Which verse is that one, Queenie?
7:12.
7:12. Matthew 7:12. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets.
Sounds a little bit like the golden rule. What do you think?
Kind of.
Straight is the gate and narrow the way that leads to Jerusalem, destruction, life, or honesty. Straight is the gate and narrow the way that leads to Jerusalem, destruction, life, or honesty.
I'm guessing that's Matthew 7:14.
There we go.
Because narrow is the gate and the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it.
Few who find it, Matthew 7:14. All right. Wild is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, fear, life, or Bethlehem. Wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, fear, life, or Bethlehem. Our faithful friends on purpose are guessing life. What do you think, Doc?
I think Janice is correct on that. I cheated.
Yeah, you did.
So what verse are we looking at? I can't find the version. So, everything is that still 7:13?
It's 7. Hang on a second.
Or is that 14?
Yes, it's still 7:13. Yes.
13. Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Destruction.
Yes, destruction is the answer. Good job, Janice. Only those will enter into the kingdom of heaven who pray daily, say, Lord, Lord, do the will of the Father, or preach. Only those will enter into the kingdom of heaven who pray daily, say, Lord, Lord, do the will of the Father, preach.
Matthew 7:22.
21.
Many will say to me, 21, okay. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven.
Do the will of my Father is correct answer. Where did the wise man build his house? On the rock, on the sand, by the sea, in Jerusalem. Where did the wise man build his house? On the rock, on the sand, by the sea, Jerusalem.
He built it on the sand in Jerusalem. I think that's, yeah.
I think that would be a good idea. With all the building you've been doing lately, I bet you know the answer already.
I think I do. I'm just trying to find the verse. what
7,
verse? 7 what?
7:24. 24.
7:24. Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock.
On the rock. Look at that. We've got Janice and who else, Doc? Are you cheating again and taking a look?
Let me cheat. You stall a little bit so I can cheat.
Okay, I can totally stall. We are in Matthew 7, and right now we're on verse 24. Matthew chapter
Welcome,
7.
Desiree. Desiree is with us.
Awesome. All right. Where did the foolish man build his house? On the rock, on the sand, by the sea in Jerusalem. Where did the foolish man build his house? On the rock, on the sand, by the sea in Jerusalem.
Matthew 7:26. But everyone, I'm sorry, did I just cut you off? I did.
No, you didn't.
There's such a delay.
I know, yeah.
But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand.
Even I, not a carpenter, would figure that one out. Let's go there.
1,000 points all around. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, seriously. The people were astonished at Jesus' doctrine because he was so young. They never heard such things. He performed miracles, or he taught as one having authority. The people were astonished at Jesus' doctrine because he was so young. They never heard such things. He performed miracles, or he taught as one having authority. Let's see how Desiree and Janice are doing. Something tells me they know each other. What do you think, Doc?
I'm kind of thinking so.
7:28.
All right. And so it was when Jesus had ended these sayings that the people were astonished at his teachings. Then 29 says, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes.
Cousin.
That's good.
Feeling you knew each other. Yeah. All right. I got 0 out of 10. That's awesome. All right. Oh my gosh, you just wouldn't believe the ads that pop up on this thing. Okay, take the quiz again. I think I'm good. All right, we're now going to
You're going to need remedial help for your quizzes again, Queenie.
I'm really surprised this app has not abandoned me. Let's go there. Okay, ready, set, go. We are in Matthew 8. What did Jesus answer the leper who said, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. I can do all things. Your faith has made you whole. I will, be thou clean. I will not. So what did Jesus answer the leper who said, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. I can do all things. Your faith has made you whole. I will, be thou clean, or I will not.
You're sounding King Jamesy there. Let me see.
Yes, I've got a lot of THs going on.
So that is Matthew 3:8.
8:3.
8:3. And yeah, sorry, 8:3. And Jesus put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean.
Absolutely. And immediately the leprosy was cleared and cleansed. I will, be thou clean, Matthew 8:3. And look at there. Janice and Desiree are rocking it. What was wrong with the centurion's servant? What was wrong with the centurion's servant? Leprosy, the palsy, epilepsy, or he fell off his horse? What was wrong with the centurion's servant? Leprosy, the palsy, epilepsy, or he fell off his horse?
Matthew 8:6.
8:5 actually. Well, yes. Both. Yeah, they start with 5.
Okay. And when Jesus entered, and let me try that again. And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him, and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. So it
The
sounds like the
palsy
palsy.
is right. Yeah.
I'm going to
The,
jump over to the message.
oh, that would be a good one. Yeah.
We'll
The
see what we get.
centurion said, since Jesus had authority, he only needed to do this and the servant would be healed. Lay hands on him, come to him, speak the word, or rebuke the devil. The centurion said, since Jesus had authority, he only needed to do this and the servant would be healed. Lay hands on him, come to him, speak the word, or rebuke the devil. Eight eight.
Matthew 8, verse 9. 8.
It's actually 8.
Yeah. Oh, no, said the captain. I don't want to. Yeah. This is the message, so it's slightly different.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, no, said the captain. I don't want to put you to all that trouble. Just give the order and my servant will be fine.
Wow.
So just say the word.
Absolutely. Speak the word.
Speak the word.
Will be healed. Yeah, that's amazing.
1,000 points for everybody.
Seriously, we love giving points out. What was wrong with Peter's mother-in-law? What was wrong with Peter's mother-in-law? Palsy, leprosy, a fever, or epilepsy? What was wrong with Peter's mother-in-law? Palsy, leprosy, a fever, or epilepsy? Ah, fever. Let's see if that's right.
I agree with those guys. Matthew 8:14.
Yep.
By this time, they were in front of Peter's house. On entering, Jesus found Peter's mother-in-law sick in bed, burning up with fever.
There you go. Ta-da! Yes, faithful friends on purpose. What do you think? Okay, when the disciples were in the ship and the storm arose, what was Jesus doing? When the disciples were in the ship and the storm arose, what was Jesus doing? Sleeping, praying, eating, or preaching? Well, that was a quick answer. Maybe our delay's getting less awful now. It's 8:24, Doc.
8:24. Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake so that the waves swept over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. I'd be thrown up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you do so great with that seasickness stuff. Yeah. And I imagine something tells me those waters were not calm back then.
I'm sure they weren't.
Call the disciples when they were fearful. What did Jesus call the disciples when they were fearful? Ye foolish men, children of the day, ye of little faith, or disheartened fellows? What did Jesus call the disciples when they were fearful? Ye foolish men, children of the day, ye of little faith, disheartened fellows.
Matthew 8:26. He replied, You of little faith, why are you so afraid?
Are you still in the message?
No, I am actually NIV.
Okay. All right, next up.
It was too hard.
Yeah, it's too, when they don't number the verses, it's impossible.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Matthew 8, and this is going to be your decision. The men marveled because Jesus rebuked them. The boat was tossed. Jesus was not afraid. The seas and wind obeyed Jesus. The men marveled because Jesus rebuked them. The boat was tossed. Jesus was not afraid. The seas and wind obeyed Jesus.
Matthew 8:27. The men were amazed and asked, What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him.
That is
I have to always, I don't know about any of you guys, Janice or Desiree or Queenie. I always think when I read something like that, I don't know how long they had been with Jesus, but they kept seeing miracles and this and that, and they're still amazed. I don't know if that means they were amazed because it was just something different, but you're walking around with God and he's doing all of this stuff. I mean, it's always amazing, but it always interests me, like they had little faith, they panicked. You're in the boat with God, you know?
Absolutely.
That
And
I always have that thought.
that is such a perfect point too, to the fear that goes on in today's world as well. We are in the boat with Jesus. We don't have to worry about all this other stuff that goes on all the time. We are in the boat. And that the fear part is just once again one of those things that I just don't understand. He's got this. And how many times a day do you have to say that? He's got this. He's got this. He's got this. And but you're right. They marveled every time. And it's almost like they were surprised when he did a miracle. It's like, hello. And where's the expectation piece of that?
Well, and to just interject, and then we can move on. But one of my favorite stories is when Jesus was walking on water towards the boat, and
Yeah.
Peter did a, "Is that you?" And Jesus, said, "Come out." And Peter was able to walk on the water because he was focused on Christ. As soon as he panicked and looked away or looked down or whatever he did, he started to sink. How is that? I mean, that is a perfect example of today. We get panicky, we get fearful, like you just said, we get fearful when we're not focused where we need to be.
I got it this, I got it that, I got it something. You don't have to do one single thing. God's got this. And that really is something that would be I mean, my gosh, what do you think? A t-shirt? Talking Queenie
Yeah.
t-shirt. There we go.
There you go.
Talking Queenie t-shirts with Bible verses. All right. On the other side of the sea, two people met them that had palsy, were possessed with devils, were lepers, or were soldiers. On the other side of the sea, two people met them that had palsy, were possessed with devils, were lepers, or were soldiers.
Matthew 8:28. When he arrived at the other side in the region of the Gadarenes, I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Yeah.
Two demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass that way. Yep,
Now
possessed with devils.
that would seriously be awful. 1,000 points goes to Facebook user. All right. Jesus cast the devils out, and they entered Jerusalem, a herd of swine, a centurion, or the soldiers. Jesus cast the devils out, and they entered Jerusalem, a herd of swine, a centurion, or the soldiers.
Matthew 8:20, I'm sorry, 8:32.
Yep.
Is that what they're?
Huh?
He said to them, "Go." So they came out and went into the pigs, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and died in the water.
Looking back, I mean, on these stories, you think you guys picked the wrong war. But I mean, I wonder what life would have been like back then, the trust factor. I mean, what would that look like? That really is amazing. All right, ready, set, go. Herd of swine. Good job, ladies. The swine ran violently into the city, over the keepers, into the sea, into the mountains.
I think we have Miss Jody from Cheeseland. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Jody from Cheeseland is in the house. Love it. The swine ran violently into the city, over their keepers, into the sea, into the mountains. Into the sea. Looks like they're making it into the sea. 8:32, Doc.
8:32, he said to them, "Go." So they came out and went into the pigs, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and died in the water. Isn't that funny? It says lake. Let's see which version. That's
Yeah,
NIV.
yeah,
I'm
that is
gonna switch
obviously
to
this
New
one
King.
says sea.
Uh, yeah. It says on New King James, and then suddenly the whole herd of swine ran violently down the steep place into the sea and perished in the water.
Yeah, that's exactly this verse. Yeah, exactly. So we go from a sea to a lake.
It's all water to me.
Long as you
Oh,
that you'd be happy, right?
yes, there's a beach, little fruity drink.
Yeah, you'd be fine, I'm sure. All right, now we are going to Matthew chapter 9, and we are ready for the quiz. Janice Desiree, Cheese Lady. All right. Jesus healed a man sick with fever, leprosy, palsy, or mad cow disease. Jesus healed a man sick with fever, leprosy, palsy, or mad cow disease.
Fruity drinks. Yes, I agree. Matthew
19.
9, verse 2.
Yep.
Okay. Then behold, they brought to him a paralytic lying on a bed. When Jesus saw their face, he said to the paralytic, Son, be of good cheer, your sins are forgiven you.
Wow. And there goes the disease. That's pretty fabulous. Which
Yeah.
disciple did Jesus call at the receipt of custom? Mark, Peter, John, Matthew. Which disciple did Jesus call at the receipt of custom? Mark, Peter, John, or Matthew? Okay, we've got a Matthew guess. Let's see if that's right, huh? It's 9:9.
Matthew 9:9. As Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax office. He said to him, Follow me. So he arose and followed him.
Is this the perfect day on April 15th?
Yeah. Eh.
I know. Yeah, seriously. A ruler came to Jesus and asked him to lay hands on his servant, his wife, his daughter, his son. A ruler came to Jesus and asked him to lay hands on his servant, his wife, his daughter, his son. One of our faithful friends on purpose guessed daughter so far. Let's see if that's correcto. 9:18, Doc.
Matthew 9:18. While he spoke these things to them, behold, a ruler came and worshipped him, saying, My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live.
There's the faith that we're talking about. There's the faith that we're talking about. All right.
1,000 points.
Yeah, yeah, everybody's awesome. A woman approached Jesus who had been sick for a short time, 12 years, 1 year, or 10 months. A woman approached Jesus who had been sick for a short time, 12 years, 1 year, or 10 months.
Matthew 9:20. And suddenly a woman who had a flow of blood for 12 years came from behind and touched the hem of his garment.
The faith piece is the part that I just absolutely love. Just the hem of his garment. You don't even need, all this stuff that everybody's always worried about. He does everything we need. Everything we need. What did Jesus say to the woman? I give you life. I give you healing. Be thou well. Thy faith hath made you whole. What did Jesus say to the woman? I give you life. I give you healing. Be thou well, or thy faith hath made thee whole.
Matthew 9:22. But Jesus turned around, and when he saw her, he said, "Be of good cheer, daughter, your faith has made you well."
Just trust God's got this. It's
Yep.
all we need. When Jesus arrived at the ruler's house, Jesus told the mourners, I have come to bring life. The maid shall live again. The maid is not dead, but sleeping. Bring the maid before me. When Jesus arrived at the ruler's house, Jesus told the mourners, I have come to bring life. The maid shall live again. The maid is not dead, but sleeping. Bring the maid before me. She's asleep, not dead, but sleeping. Look at these rock stars. Matthew 9:24.
9:24. He said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed at him to scorn.
Where is that faith? When Jesus
Exactly.
did this, the people brought forth the maid, believed him, laughed him to scorn, cried all the more. When Jesus said this, the people brought forth the maid, believed him, laughed him to scorn, cried all the more.
Matthew 9:24 again. He said, Go away, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping. And they laughed at him. Or laughed to scorn, like the last version said. Yeah.
Yeah, laughed him to scorn. Incredible.
Yeah.
2 blind men followed Jesus, crying, We cannot see, touch our eyes. Where is the Lord, Son of David? Have mercy on us. 2 blind men followed Jesus, crying, We cannot see, touch our eyes. Where is the Lord, Son of David? Have mercy on us.
Matthew 9:27. And as Jesus passed on from there, 2 blind men followed him, crying aloud, Have mercy on us, Son of David.
There we go. Now we're getting that faith correctly. What did Jesus do when a dumb man possessed with the devil was brought to him? Rebuke them for bringing the man to him, cast the devil out, took him to the priest, sent him away from the city. What did Jesus do when a dumb man possessed with a devil was brought to him? Rebuke them for bringing the man to him, cast the devil out, took him to the priest, sent him away from the city. Oh my gosh, ding, ding, ding on these answers. I'm telling you. 9:33, Doc.
And when the demon had been cast out, the mute man spoke, and the crowds marveled, saying, Never was anything like this seen in Israel.
This version, and I probably should study so I would know how to say these words. This version says the dumb spake. So is that
spaketh?
Yeah, they speaketh or they spaketh, but yeah, these versions are very hard for me.
Like you spaketh your kid, you spaketh your kid.
I think that's a different word. Oh my gosh. Pray for laborers because the harvest is plenteous, but laborers are few, are busy, are missing, or are the most plenteous. Pray for laborers, I know, because the harvest is plenteous, but laborers are few, are busy, are missing, or are the most plenteous, which I would think would be plentiful, but it's just me. Pray for the laborers because the harvest is plenteous, but laborers are. That's in 937, and I bet it's going to be hard for you to find that one.
Then he said to his disciples, The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. It sounded so much easier than what you were trying to read.
Trust me, I know. Yeah, it's a good thing that phonics is my deal, right?
Yeah.
All right, how we doing with all of our faithful friends on purpose, all the way
We've
from
got 1,000 points plus 500 extra credit. You get an A, you don't have to take the test.
I know, and then there's me. According to this app, I don't know diddly, so this isn't good.
There's
All right,
always one in the crowd.
Matthew chapter 10. Thank you for joining us on Doc and Queenie Facebook Live. And whether you're on live with us now, answering like our rock stars are, or on the replay, we appreciate you being with us. So, Doc, are you ready for Matthew chapter 10?
I am ready, Queenie. Let's go.
Which disciple betrayed Jesus? Which disciple betrayed Jesus? Simon, Andrew, Judas Iscariot, or Philip? Which disciple betrayed Jesus? Simon, Andrew, Judas Iscariot, or Philip?
Matthew 10:4. Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him.
Correcto mundo. Ding, ding, ding. Jesus sent the disciples to preach to them. The Philistines, the Romans, the Gentiles, the lost sheep of Israel. Jesus sent the disciples to preach to them. The Philistines, the Romans, the Gentiles, the lost sheep.
I'm guessing that is Matthew
Oh, I was going
10:5.
to say, this is interesting. There's hesitation. Let's see how this works. Yeah, it's 10:5.
These 12 Jesus sent out, instructing them, go nowhere among the Gentiles and enter no town of the Samaritans. But you know, the next verse says,
Yeah,
but go
it
rather
goes
to
to
the lost
26.
sheep of the house of Israel.
Yes. I think it likes to give us a little background because it started 10:5 and then it goes into 10:6 right from here.
We've got the lost sheep of Israel, and then we have an answer that says sheep.
I think that that's our cheese lady. What did
I don't
Jesus?
know.
We'll have to look later, right? What did Jesus say they should do when departing a city that did not receive them? What did Jesus say they should do when departing a city that did not receive them? Curse the ground, pray for their forgiveness, shake the dust off their feet, turn back and re-enter the city. What did Jesus say they should do when departing a city that did not receive them? Curse the ground, pray for their forgiveness, shake the dust off their feet, turn back and re-enter the city. 10:14, Doc.
Ooh, I'm way ahead of myself. And
Yeah.
if anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet when you leave that house or town.
There you go. That's another message. How many times do people keep, I don't know if you'd say forcing the issue, but I need you to be my friend, or I need this, or I'm trying to get that, whatever. They're constantly wanting something to turn out differently than that. If it doesn't work out, shake the dust off and move on. And,
Right.
it's one of those things, you have acceptance in Christ, you don't need acceptance from the world.
Amen.
Jesus to the disciples to be wise as serpents and harmless as these: doves, butterflies, babies, angels. Jesus instructed the disciples to be wise as serpents and harmless as these: doves, butterflies, babies, or angels.
Matthew 10:16. Behold, I am sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves, so be wise as serpents and innocent as doves.
Nice job, rock stars.
Speaking of doves,
Yep. Please.
we've got I think it's the same pair of doves that have been in our yard for years. And there are sometimes they make a noise that almost sounds like a baby crying.
Oh my
It's the
gosh.
weirdest noise. I don't know if any Facebook users have heard that, but it's just a weird thing.
Are you in your front yard or your backyard for that?
The back usually. Well, they fly all over the place, but usually the
Well,
back.
no, I just wondered because you've got a birdhouse in the back, and I was wondering if that has anything to do with it.
No, that's that birdhouse. Remember last year we had a little warbler, that little teeny little tiny thing with the big mouth.
It was a very loud squawker.
It
Yeah.
the bird was like an inch long, if that, and it was had the biggest noise. It made the biggest noise.
Yeah.
So I just thought
Yeah.
it was funny.
That is amazing. And that you get your doves back, I think is very cool.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Checking the board. We're all good. Okay. He that endures to the end shall be rewarded, saved, honored, remembered. He that endures to the end shall be rewarded, saved, honored, remembered. It's amazing
Matthew
how
10.
pertinent these are for this time that we're in right now. You know, when you
Yeah.
think in these, this was beautiful that you picked Matthew.
Matthew 10:22. Whoops, wait a minute. Did I
That's
do that?
right.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh.
There it is. Okay. I looked away and then I lost my place. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but the one who endures to the end will be saved.
There you go. Jesus said not to fear them which are able to kill the body, but not the soul. Kill the body, because you shall rise again, because you have power over them, for they shall pay with their actions. Jesus said not to fear them which are able to kill the body, but not the soul, because you shall rise again, because you have power over them, for they shall pay with their actions.
Matthew 10:28. Janice's answers are given by Donna. Okay.
I love that.
And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell.
Oh, that's right, but not the soul is the correcto answer. What did Jesus say are numbered? What did Jesus say are numbered? The sins of the world, the people of the world, the hairs of your head, or my disciples? This is back to that same thing as far as the fear not piece. He knows everything about us. And you're worried about one little something, something. I'm just always blown away by that. What did Jesus say are numbered? The sins of the world, the people of the world, the hairs of your head, or my disciples?
Matthew 10:30. But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. So
It's such a comfort. I mean, seriously, you don't have to worry about anything. God's got this. Jesus said, whoever confesses him before men, he will confess before his Father, shall be exalted, shall be rewarded, is my disciple. Jesus said, whoever confesses him before men, he will confess before his Father, shall be exalted, shall be rewarded, is my disciple. (1032) Doc.
Matthew 10:32. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. Are you catching, Queenie? Just sidetrack here. My internet connection keeps going funky. Like
Yeah.
I'm turning it. See that? And
Yes,
I'm
I
like,
do.
what the
Yeah,
heck is going on?
yeah. Yeah. StreamYard likes a nice, crisp connection, and yeah, it's always a little challenging.
I look a little scary.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
aged about 110
Usually,
years.
I was going to say, usually my hair has disappeared, so this is a good day. The answer, of course, was Matthew 10:32. So we are now on to Jesus said, he who does not do this is not worthy of me. He who does not do this is not worthy of me. Pray, fast, tithe, or take his cross. Jesus said, he who does not do this is not worthy of me. Pray, fast, tithe, or take his cross.
Is that 32 again?
I'm just waiting until they did an answer, actually.
I'm just my internet looks like a heart beating. Doot,
Oh.
doot. Look at that. It's crazy.
1038.
10:38. Oh.
Uh-huh.
And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Good
Take his,
job, Facebook users. 1,000 points of light or 1,000 points of whatever.
yeah,
1,000 points.
1,000 points of toothpicks. Jesus said, he that receives a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive tenfold, fold, much sorrow, a righteous man's reward. Jesus said, he that receives a righteous man shall receive tenfold, fold, much sorrow, a righteous man's reward.
Matthew 10:41, Queenie.
I'm waiting for the answers because the delay is a mess tonight too.
This is crazy. I'm flashing.
Yeah, it's 10:41. It actually is better now that you scooted back a little. It's less awful. But yes, 10:41. Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry. The one who
It's okay.
received the prophet. Did you say what did you say?
No, nothing, just 10:41.
The one who receives a prophet because he is a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and the one who receives a righteous person because he is a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward.
Yeah, a righteous man's reward is the correct answer. That is awesome. And that's Matthew 10:41. How are we doing on?
We're doing okay on time. I
Yep.
was going to say that always reminds me of where in the Bible it talks about, you never know if you're entertaining angels, because we never know. We never know. Well, you can kind of tell if somebody's not an angel, but and I
Thou
think
shalt not judge, right?
exactly. And I think I might have mentioned the story of a friend that was driving along the highway. Do you remember that story?
Yes,
Did
I
I
do.
mention that online?
Yes, absolutely. Say it again in case Jody wasn't here, and certainly not Desiree. Go ahead.
My girlfriend was on vacation, and they had something happen to a tire or something happened to the car. So they had to pull over, and this guy came up and helped them out. And she thanked him, and they went on their way. And as she was pulling away, she looked in her mirror, and he was gone. There was nobody, and they looked all over the place. There was nobody around. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's only one answer to that.
Exactly.
It's just there's only one answer. How are we doing? Excellent. So, okay, we are now headed to Matthew chapter 11. Where was John the Baptist? Where was John the Baptist? At the Jordan River, in Jerusalem, in the temple, in prison. Where was John the Baptist? At the Jordan River, in Jerusalem, in the temple, in prison.
That's kind of a trick question.
I think that's why they're doing this to me, because I haven't gotten any right in 2 months. Yeah. But it is definitely a trick question. Okay, at the Jordan River, in prison. We got a lot of answers today. Let's see what's right. That's 11:2.
Matthew 11:2. Now, when John heard in prison about the deeds of Christ, he sent word by his disciples.
There you go.
In prison.
And look at the difference in the answers this time. The answer, yeah.
I was going to say, I would have thought it was the Jordan also.
Yes. So we'll take it up with the people. John sent 2 disciples to ask Jesus for help. If they could be his disciples, art thou that should come, or shall we seek another? What would thou have me to do? John sent 2 disciples to ask Jesus for help If they could be his disciples, art thou he that should come, or shall we seek another? What wouldst thou have me to do? I have a feeling that was Donna. That got the in prison part right.
Matthew 11:3.
Yes, this actually does 2:3, so it's basically a precursor. Yeah.
Now, when John heard in prison about the deeds of Christ, he sent word by his disciples and said to him, "Are you the one who is to come, or shall we look for another?"
There we go. Art thou he that should come, or shall we seek another? Yeah, it's hard to answer. It's hard to type what I'm saying, that's for sure. What did Jesus say the people went to see when they went to the wilderness to see John the Baptist? A king, a prophet, a Pharisee, or a scribe? What did Jesus say the people went to see when they went to the wilderness to see John the Baptist? A king, a prophet, a Pharisee, or a scribe? 11:7, Doc.
11:7. As they went away, Jesus began to speak to the crowds concerning John. What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind?
Keep going. It takes you all the way to 9.
Ah. What then did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing? Behold, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. What then did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. His
Right.
cousin.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was his yeah.
All right. Jesus said, among them that are born of woman, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, who did Jesus say was greater than John? Moses, Abraham, the angels, he that's the least in the kingdom of heaven. Jesus said, among them that are born of woman, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, who did Jesus say was greater than John? Moses, Abraham, the angels, he that's the least in the kingdom of heaven.
I'm just sitting here flashing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's seriously, and it really does depend. Several of the events I went to today online were cyber weird, like you couldn't get on, things were spinning, people disappeared off the screen and then came back. Today has just seriously been one of those days in the internet world, I think. This one, Doc, is 11:11.
Okay, truly I say to you, among those born of women, there has arisen no one greater than John the Baptist, yet the one who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
He that's least. Ta-da! Good job. All right. What did Jesus liken that generation to? Children sitting in the markets, men sitting at the gate, sheep and goats, or truce breakers? What did Jesus liken that generation to? Children sitting in the markets, men sitting at the gate, sheep and goats, or truce breakers? It's a good thing I don't actually have a list. The truce breakers would probably do me in. 11:16, Doc.
Matthew 11:16. But to what shall I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to their playmates. That is an interesting way to put it.
And that's why I was going to say, because this version says calling unto their fellows.
Let me see what another version. Yeah. I lost. Which is it? What is it again? The verse.
You can't ask me that.
16. Um, Yeah, 16, here's a different version. To what can I compare this generation? They are like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling out to others.
Oh my goodness.
Did they just kick you off because you can't answer correctly?
Because if I don't know the answer, that's exactly right. Okay. Yeah, 11:16. Okay, good. What version was that you just read from?
Uh, NIV.
Okay. Okay. What did that generation say about John? The servant of God. He's a reed shaken in the wind. He should be in the king's house, or he has a devil. What did that generation say about John? He's a servant of God. He's a reed shaken in the wind. He should be in the king's house, or he has a devil.
Matthew 11:18.
Yep.
For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he has a demon. Isn't it funny? They're thinking,
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
cast out the demons. Well, he must be the prince of demons. No.
Yeah, it really is interesting how everybody was judged then. That's for sure. What did Jesus say they called him? What did Jesus say they called him? A reed shaken in the wind, great in the kingdom, a prophet, or a glutton? What did Jesus say they called him? A reed shaken in the wind, great in the kingdom, a prophet, or a glutton?
Matthew 11:19. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, here is a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. But wisdom is proved right by her deeds. Isn't it interesting how back then, like today, truth gets smashed around and attacked, in a ruthless manner, basically?
Yeah, and the thing I always love, honestly, is the correlation in the word to what's happening right now. I mean, think of a zillion years later, and here we are, and this word is alive and well. And that, I mean, seriously, that's the part that I'm always just so grateful, because every single thing we need is in this book. Every single thing we need. Why did Jesus upbraid the cities where most of his miracles were done? Can't wait to see how this translates into New English. Why did Jesus upbraid the cities where most of his miracles were done? They didn't thank him, they condemned him, they didn't repent, or they condemned John.
Matthew 11:20. Then Jesus began to denounce the towns in which most of his miracles had been performed because they did not repent. Yes.
They repented not. Awesome. Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. I need your services. Work for my Father. Great shall be your reward. I will give you rest. Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. I need your services. Work for my Father. Great shall be your reward. I will give you rest.
And I do believe this verse is on the Statue of Liberty, actually. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest.
Yeah, and I love that song too. All right, Matthew 11, here we go. Jesus said his yoke is easy and his burden is simple, heavy, light, or fair. Jesus said his yoke is easy and his burden is simple, heavy, light, or fair.
Matthew 11:30, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Ta-da! All
And
right,
it is.
for timing, I'm just telling you what, we just finished another chapter, and that is pretty awesome because the time actually, unfortunately, is up for the evening.
It's kind of crazy. It flew by as usual.
It always does, seriously. And I think it's one of those things. We'd like to thank everyone who joined us live. Donna, Desiree, Jody, absolutely love having you here. And those of you who are watching on the replay, tonight was Matthew 7, and we made it all the way up to the end of 11, which is pretty awesome. So, Doc, I think it's time for you to take us home.
Thank you, everyone, for participating and for watching on the replay. You can find us again next Thursday at 7 p.m. or check out Doc and Queenie Facebook Live at Monday at high noon. Take care, everyone. Be blessed. We will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.